Well, Sir John Stevens, Britain's top policeman, he has said, if anyone was encouraged by yesterday's, which was Monday's, Batman stunt, think twice before you go ahead. You risk being shot.
That's because they're very scared.
Well, they've every right to be scared.
Yeah, they have. That's right. But we're undermining. There are so many upset and angry people out there. Whether it's the hunting lobby or whatever, Parliament is actually taking away people's God-given rights to do whatever it is.
And you feel so strongly you would risk being shot?
I certainly would. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's nothing more painful than losing your child. And for me, I mean, I was very suicidal 3 years ago anyway, at the fact that I'd stopped seeing my daughter, and I nearly took my own life on a couple of occasions just because you are so upset that the most important thing in your life is actually being denied, or you're not even.
And you were prepared. I'm so sorry. You were prepared to be the Batman at Buckingham Palace on Monday.
Absolutely,
if you hadn't broken your leg in a previous skydiving fall, which is why you're sitting with your leg out.
That's right. Yes. I mean, you just have to think of whatever stunt that is going to get onto the media. We don't want to be doing this. I would like to stress this. We're not egotistical individuals that want to sort of get this kind of profile unless we're getting our point across.
But you weren't going to be necessarily Batman and strapping yourself to the front of the building. You were going to parachute in and land on the forecourt.
Well, we did actually think about various stunts that we could do, but Matt O'Connor and myself and Ron and several others that are involved, we all put our heads together to think what would be the best thing. Jason came up with the great idea, obviously, to get up on the side of Buckingham Palace. We didn't need to do it. It was so easy. All you needed was a window cleaner's ladder.
The danger is, of course, that we might lose sympathy with your cause if you pull too many silly stunts.
Well, can I say that when people are left with no alternative, I mean, you have to remember it's been 6 years in my own case. I've spoken to my MP. I went up to Parliament and spoke to my MP November of last year. I had the opportunity to talk to our Prime Minister on the radio back in January for some 4 minutes, and he led me to believe that he was very sympathetic and would look deeply into this.
But what's interesting there is you say that you went to see your MP and you went to see him at Parliament, but of course what you did with the flower and what happened yesterday with the invasion of the chamber means that invariably we will have less and less and less access to our politicians, because they will say, right, actually you can't be trusted to come into the building, unfortunately.
Well, I think I would hope that wouldn't happen, because I think adequate security will prevent anything like that happening. It's somewhat of a surprise to see that the lads could have got in there yesterday.
Denise, you've been listening sagely. What do you think?
Well, I deplore what they're doing, because I think it's going to end in tragedy, with one of them falling from a crane or a bridge or being shot. I have 100% sympathy with their cause. For years now, I've had letters from desperate men. I know that if a woman wants to subvert a court order, she can do it in 1,000 ways. She can move, which some of them do. They keep changing location. She can say, little Johnny's too poorly to come out with you today. She can simply not be in when they call. I have, in fact, had letters from women who said, I've got a new partner now, and I want this irritation, the father of my children, out of the picture so we can be happy. I've got sympathy with you. I think you're doing the wrong thing.
But what do they do? What else do they do, Denise?
I wrote only this week about them. I said, I absolutely deplore what they're doing, but as long as we don't do something about their grievance, they'll keep climbing ladders. It is up to us. It is up to us to make sure that the courts dispense justice. And the last time we discussed this on this programme, I got a lot of angry letters from women who said, my husband was an abuser, he was an alcoholic, he was this and that and the other. Bad fathers have no rights, in my opinion. Good fathers, as bad mothers, good fathers should have that total right to be a parent, sustained by us.
Do you believe, gentlemen, that you are any closer to accomplishing your goal?
Well, a number of changes have been forthcoming. There's the government green paper, which is probably the biggest step forward. There's been the Conservative Party have come out very strongly in favour of shared parenting. A lot of judges have spoken up, so I think we have taken a major step forward just by getting this into the public domain.
You've certainly done that. I assume that that you'll be sitting there with new plans, new
already
publicity
formulated.
stunts sitting
We
in
already
your-
have other plans.
You'll know what you're going to do.
We just don't want to keep doing them. We keep wanting to do it where you can sit round with the politician and say, let's do this in a business manner. Can we sit round and say, when are you going to change
And it's
the
a
law?
cause you're prepared to die for.
I've written to Tony Blair saying, you know, we're not directing it personally at him, but he is the man in power that can change the law. And he can change it very, very simply by saying, right, the court orders have got to be upheld. If he did that, then, you know, nobody would have the cause to be doing this. And it's costing the government and taxpayers millions of pounds. It would be cheaper for them to actually say, let's sit round the table for a day and get rid of these guys, because we don't want to be doing this.
We've published
Guy
a
and
blueprint which we feel would make a big difference, and you know, it's available to everybody, and I think if it's read, they will understand that this is a better way forward than what we have at the moment.
Guys, thank you
Guy
very
and
much.
Ron,
indeed.
thank you. Thank you, Denise. Too.
I went to court, I think, something like 38 times. I've spent over £50,000, and I have got 3 court orders that literally are worth nothing.